What if your entire people were about to be wiped out, and the only person who could save them was you? Would you risk your life, even if it meant losing everything? This is the story of a young woman, an orphan turned queen, who saved a nation. Her name was Esther. It was the 3rd year of King Xerxes' reign. He ruled over 127 provinces from India to Ethiopia, and he loved to party. For 180 days, he showed off his wealth. Then came a 7-day banquet, wine flowing, food endless. But when the king called for Queen Vashti to show off her beauty, she refused. Humiliated, the king removed her as queen. A search began across the empire for a new queen. Among the women taken to the palace was a young Jewish girl named Hadassah, but the Persians called her Esther. She was raised by her cousin Mordecai after her parents died. Esther was kind, graceful, and wise. She found favor with everyone she met, especially the king. After 12 months of preparation, she was brought before King Xerxes. And just like that, Esther became queen. Haman, a power-hungry official who rose to second in command. The king ordered everyone to bow before Haman, but Mordecai refused. Haman was furious, so he devised a plan. Not just to punish Mordecai, but to wipe out all his people, the Jews. He tricked the king into signing a law. On a specific day, every Jew in the empire would be killed. A sealed decree, unstoppable. The date was set. Mordecai tore his clothes and wept in the streets. He sent a message to Queen Esther, begging her to go to the king. But approaching the king without being summoned was dangerous. The law was clear: death unless the king raised his gold scepter. Esther thought. She prayed, and then she decided. She would go, even if it cost her life. Esther dressed in her royal robes and stood outside the throne room. The king saw her and lifted the golden scepter. She didn't make her request immediately. She invited the king and Haman to a banquet, and then another. At the first banquet, Esther remained silent, but Haman left feeling proud and powerful. That night, he built a massive gallows to hang Mordecai. He had no idea the tables were about to turn. That same night, the king couldn't sleep. He had the royal records read aloud and remembered how Mordecai once saved his life. He asked if Mordecai had ever been honored. He hadn't. And the very next morning, the king asked Haman how to honor a man the king favored. Thinking the honor was for himself, Haman described a lavish parade. The king loved the idea and told Haman to do all of it for Mordecai. At the second banquet, the king asked again, "What is your request?" This time, Esther spoke. She revealed Haman's plan and her identity as a Jew. The king was shocked. Haman was terrified. He was executed on the very gallows he built for Mordecai. But the decree to destroy the Jews still stood. So the king issued a new one. The Jews could defend themselves. When the day came, they stood together, and they prevailed. Mordecai was promoted, Esther remained queen, and the Jewish people were saved. To this day, Jews celebrate Purim, a joyful reminder that God works behind the scenes, a hidden hand in dark times, a quiet whisper in courageous hearts. She was an orphan, a foreigner, a woman in a man's world. But she was willing to risk it all. She didn't wear a crown to be comfortable. She wore it to make a difference. Because sometimes God puts us exactly where we are for such a time as this.
Thank you for watching. If you have been blessed, please like, comment, share it with someone, and follow for more powerful stories.